there, I'm Pastor Brian, and it's time for Questions from Kids. Reagan from Overland Park, Kansas asks,
Does God promise to always protect us?
Reagan, God promises to protect us, but in a certain way. Let me explain this in the best I can. So, God has promised that He'd always protect us from the consequences of sin when we trust in Jesus. So, if you have trusted in Jesus like I have, we can know that the absolute final result of sin, separation from God, will never happen because God has protected us from that through Jesus. We can have absolute trust that when we die, we will be with Jesus and God for all of eternity. And we don't have to doubt that for a second. God has also promised us to protect us on earth to a degree. We have to be careful because sometimes people misunderstand this and think that, well, this means that God will never, we'll never get sick. God will never allow it to happen, or we'll never have bad things happen to us. And that is not quite the case. As Christians, we can still get sick, of course. Bad things can happen to us. But what we have to understand is this, that God is using all of those situations for His glory and our good, even if we may not see how that's working out today. So we're protected in a general sense that God is using us to bring about His plans, and we can always have that final, ultimate understanding that we will be with God for eternity no matter what. So the next time something happens to you, and maybe you get sick or something bad happens, this is what I want you to remember, that God has not failed you, that God is using you. And you may not understand why you're going through it now or how God is using it, but trust me, one day when we're all with God and we'll be able to ask God, God, why did I get sick this one time? What were you doing then? God will explain and we'll say, oh, that makes total sense. I'm so glad you did that. Let me ask you a question. Are you more or less likely to turn to God when you are having a hard time? Why?